All right, I think it's time to try a massive transmittal item. Or not.
Us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Yes, indeed. It is the Old Tube Radio Network, beaconing somewhere, possibly everywhere. Hello, radio. The Old Tube Radio Network coming to you yet again. And another transmitting item here on the, not quite the end of 2023, but we are working towards it. Thanks for joining us, whether you might be at oldtuberadio.net listening to the audio or linked up on the video, which I think is happening. I think that's up. Or you might be joining us live and direct, as many of you have been doing since the mid-1980s when OTR first beaconed the airwaves, the network, here at 27085 in the Central Valley of California. We will be checking in with our shortwave listeners. And after that, we will be doing what we do best, and that's talking with, and talking about the tube radios, the tube radio operators, and all things citizen band radio from days of yore. My name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers to sit into the air chair right here, and so I will try to do my best to do that tonight to get everybody checked in. So before I see the video works, okay, that's good. We have an echo link up. We've done some cross banding, which is up and running, so we'll see how that works. Before I get started, we will do any early check-ins. I've got a couple already. So SWL 61, I've got. Who else would like to get an early check-in? Over.
195.
And up in the beautiful city of Coarse Gold, where it is not raining yet, but give it, 24 or 48 hours, there won't be any snow, because this is going to be a warm storm coming in. Jim, I've got you checked in. Over. Anybody else for a early check-in to the Old Tube Radio Network?
Dennis.
This is the basic Dennis. Over. This is the basic Dennis. Over.
Put me down just in case, but if I can't, I still will.
All right, wherever you go, there you are. So I've got a check-in for 37 as well.
Okay, but I will still try to check in myself, though, at that time. So, you know me.
Yeah, you are officially official.
Thank you, Dennis.
And I know there were a couple of check-ins over on the chat. You can check in at oldtuberadio.net. Some of you have already done that. I will make sure that I pick you up. If I don't, I usually go over after the net just to make sure there's something, and there's always something that I missed, because there's a lot of things going on around here. So I try to do my best. All right, let's go dive into the roll call. What's going on here tonight? We have promises. Let me check with my crew back here. Promises of, are they in the studio yet? The Espresso Trucking Company here tonight, doing one of their now infamous ditties. Not yet, they say. Okay, they are scheduled. Something's wrong with the Buick, no doubt, but they should be here. 00, who is, I forgot already who 00 is. It says it's Gary, SWL 28. Well, let me go to my big screen here, and I will get, Gary is right there. He's checking in with a holiday party, food, champagne, wine. You sound like you're here. There's all sorts of activity going on tonight in the beautiful Elk Grove Estate. You'd think they would have some root beer and licorice, but no, maybe they do. You know what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to find a little kid somewhere wandering around the palatial estate there, and they will know where the root beer and the licorice is. Forget about the adults. They don't know. All right, Gary, you are checked in. You've got to start it off here as 00. Keep the Pepto-Bismol handy. SWL number 1. with the Cosmic Check-In. I think he liked licorice and champagne and Nesbitt's lime soda. SWL number 2. Mr. OBP is present and accounted for, and he said the numbers are going up. Sunspot numbers were down to 80 earlier this week, although the band has been, the skip has been pretty good. KP index is at 3, so DX conditions are good. Up to the gray line, and we're up to 130 now, so we'll see. I don't recall of any long-distance check-ins last night on the Ditchbank sideband net, but I could be wrong. The station, go ahead, over. All right, from the Ditchbanks 96, I will get you checked in. Thanks for stopping by. Over.
Okay, Dennis, you're doing a great job.
All right, we'll get to early check-ins when we can take them. I'm going to check in Rob, SWL3. I was not able to make either of the big Christmas parties from the Fresno Amateur Radio Club and the Clovis Amateur Radio Pioneers. I usually try to make at least one of those, but they're on Fridays and Saturdays, one that conflicts with this venue, and another one usually end up working late. So I think everything, I saw some pictures from the Clovis venue, the Clovis party, and they looked pretty good. So sorry I missed that one. Let's go to SWL number 5. Levon is there. Hello, radio. Levon, Mr. Rainmaker, we've got you checked in. Let's go to SWL 7. I will get a proxy in for 7. Mr. Ed might be around live and direct shortly. SWL 10. Hello, Chrissy and Dwayne. Thank you for the recipe last week. That should keep a lot of people busy making little goodies that they can hand out for Christmas gifts. Also, Neil's in. I'm going to check Neil in right now when I can see him on my screen. And hey, glad you can join us. Glad you are taking a break from the musical stuff. Checking in. Big storm coming tomorrow. We have a big storm coming in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But it's not cold. It's just going to be a big storm. Shouldn't be dropping a lot of snow, in theory, at least on the medium elevations. Good conditions on 30, 27, 395, but dead by 5 o'clock. Same thing here. When the sun goes down, the skip is out. Thank you, Dr. Jazz. 887, 147 is checked in. Trying to find the right page so that it actually gets logged in. Let's go to SWL 11 and SWL 12. Did someone say Fresno? Did someone say cornbread? Did someone say Dapper Dan? I think somebody said all of those things. So we'll get 11 and 12 to check in. Looking dapper, feeling dapper, and likewise myself. I got the suit ready to go. All the buttons seem to look good. The pocket protector is in place. And we are ready to check in some radios. SWL 13, that's Mr. Cobra, who often checks in over at oldtuberadio.net, which you can do. There's some magic to that, but some people know how to do that. I see Mike, I see you there. Yeah, Heidi ho, and away we go. We are on our way for sure. And thank you for stopping by. Let's go over to Sangertown, SWL 14. Looking for Sean in Sanger if he's by the radio. All right, let me take another early check-in here while I can see the host and the station is there. SWL 79, Mr. DC. I'm putting the X in the square for you right now, somewhere right above, right there on the big screen.
That's proxy charge.
And who are we proxying over?
Sean from Sanger.
Oh, yeah. Okay, very good. Yeah, I will do that. I've got a proxy for Sean in Sanger. Thank you. Over to SWL 15. Is Hans joining us tonight? I haven't looked at our large scale. Who's in the front row here? San Pedro. Yeah, again, Bowling Green, Kentucky. Van Man will get you checked in. Fresno, the unknown SWL. At Belfast, Maine, Derby, New York. Inez, Kentucky. Actually, that's Van Man. Plymouth, Minnesota. Copenhagen. Yeah, okay. Hans is there. Why did I think he was not there? He's awake. I'm awake. You're awake. He's awake at I don't know. Is it 5 in the morning? 6 in the morning? It is early. It is late. It is later than we think. Who else? Fresno, Newcastle, Virginia, Middletown, Ohio, Beaumont, California, and Centerville, Virginia. Way up in the balcony tonight. Hiding out up there. What's going on the balcony? They must be giving away some good stuff. SWL 16. Let me get the X there. And Charlie is in tonight.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead.
24 checking in.
All right, SWL 24. Joseph, I've got you checked in. Thanks for stopping by. And Charlie, I have a question. I thought we were supposed to have the Christmas tree back here, but it is not up. I was busy, so. Chet is saying that they had to borrow it. They had to borrow it for something happened to the one in the green room, so they took ours. But you are decorating. You're in the middle, so you can help us. Okay, hold on a second. This is the Old Tube Radio Network. I have to grab, I don't think this is going to work, am I? Are we on? Yeah, okay. So I don't get it. You want me to, we should have done this earlier. He wants me to decorate here. All right, well, I got the lights. All right, careful. Charlie is, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? Charlie's handing me the lights here. All right, I think, you know what? We should have done this, why couldn't we have done this earlier? I have no idea where these are going to go. They're all tangled up. All right, we're doing some, I guess, last-minute decorations here at the Old Tube Radio Network. I don't think this, maybe I should just give them back to you. I don't think this is going to work. We don't have the tree. Normally we have we're getting our tree next week. Yeah, well, that's too bad about the other one. All right. I have no idea. You know, this is probably, I know about fires. This is probably going to cause a fire somehow. And I've got wires dangling. You know, this isn't a good thing. Are these glass? I don't want stuff breaking here. All right. Yeah, I don't think this is oops. Yeah, I'm going to take myself off I don't think this is a good idea. I don't know. And there's a fan over here. What? Just keep going? Does that look okay? All right. He says it looks good. He's laughing. Why are you laughing? All right. Sorry for this long transmission. I didn't expect to be doing this. Yeah, something's gonna break here. All right. I would prefer that we have the tree. Oops. No, this isn't. All right. I would kind of prefer that we have the. All right. You know, that's the best I can do. I would kind of prefer that we have the. Ouch! The Christmas tree. Sorry, now I got to find my foot switch again. Well, that's actually pretty tragic anyway. That's what can you do? What can you do? Let's go. I'm sorry about. Oops, that's not good. SWL 17. SWL 18. I've got a Facebook check-in for Mr. KDA. SWL 19 on the cue cards. Yeah, I know. What are you smiling about? All right. Yeah, I'm the one that has to be on camera. Thank you, Chet, for doing the cards tonight. SWL 20.
Number 20 here. Please check me in. 29 and 54. And I will have an item of interest.
All right, sorry, I was trying to fix these lights here. They're falling all over the place. An item of interest is always good. You are sounding good. Thanks for stopping by.
Alrighty, thank you.
You know, these lights are kind of messing up my light in here tonight. Old radio night, that Saturday night beacon of citizen band radio from the Wasama swamps. I'm seeing if we have a link up to the old radio night group tonight. Let's see if they're still on. Let me bring some audio. I think he's still on. He's on channel 12. That's a cool radio. What's the radio tonight? Oh, and they're listening in. They are listening in. He's on the Royce 641. All right. I can hear you. You can hear me. So go ahead. 21, when the audio loop comes around, go ahead and take a check-in. Go ahead and take a check-in. Here we go. And I got to put up your video. Hold on. Let me put up your video so we can have the giant feedback loop. Here we go.
All right, sorry. I was trying to fix
Coming up.
these lights. They're falling all over the place. An item of interest is always good. You are sounding good. Thanks for stopping by. All right, thank you.
We're still checking in Harvey. We're on a big delay tonight.
You know, these lights are kind of messing up my light in here tonight. Old radio night.
He's getting ready to check in.
Night beacon of a citizen band radio from the Wasama swamps. I am seeing if we have a link up to the old radio night group tonight. Let's see if they're still on. Let me bring some audio. I think he's still on. He's on channel 12. That's a cool radio. What's the radio tonight? Oh, and they're listening in. They are listening in. He's on the Royce 641. All right. I can hear you. You can hear me. So, go
Like
ahead.
deja vu all over again.
Go ahead and take a check. You know, I got to put up your video. Hold on, let me put up your video so we can have the giant feedback. Here we go.
SWL 21 checking in from South Carolina. Go ahead there at 183. There you go.
All right, we got our check-in. Good night. Let me get back to the video here, and I will say maybe. Uh-oh, am I locked down? I have no idea what just happened. Now there we go. The mouse wasn't working. Thank you, old radio night. Back in a second. All right, I want to let the transmitter cool off there. 21 is checked in. Another worldwide, coast-to-coast, back and forth, up and down radio relay from the old Tube Radio Network to old radio night. That's a lot of CBing going on. When you think nobody's on the air, you tune on a Saturday evening. Thank you, JT, from the Wasama Swamps. Let's see if Tyler... Oh, I see we do have some Echolink people, but what I wanted to see if is Tyler is out there tonight, SWL 22. Tyler was out there last week, so I'll give him a proxy check-in. Before we go any further, I heard a radio check. Hello, radio check. You are tuned in and listening to the old Tube Radio Network here in Fresno. Go ahead, over. All right, your audio is a bit low, but I hear you at the old Tube Radio Network. You are beaconing worldwide. Were you to actually go to your Universal Media Net web device at oldtuberadio.net, you can indeed hear your own radio check. Now, how cool is that for Citizen Band Radio? All right, and you just never know. You spend $39, at your favorite radio store, and you come back and you are beaconing. You press the microphone and you're beaconing worldwide. It was just the press of a button. SWL 23, who is working, I think he's with the boys. He's with the Espresso Trucking Company. Are they having to push the Buick down Blackstone Avenue to get it here? They have promised that they will be here tonight with a little Christmas cheer. So I will expect that will happen. SWL 24 checked in moments ago. SWL 25 checked in on the crossband. SWL 27. SWL 28 checked in as 00 and checking in again. And I hope you got your licorice and beverage of choice. SWL 29 with a proxy check-in. SWL 30 standing by, no doubt, waiting for some conditions to check in on the Robin or the Golden Eagle or one of those radios. Dwayne, we've got you checked in. SWL 31. SWL 32. SWL, you know, these lights are kind of shining in my eye. And someone asked, are those LED? You know, I think they should be what? The C9s, but I think, dare I try, you know, that's why they didn't break. They're plastic. And they appear to be LEDs, but I don't hear any static. I don't hear any interference coming through on the receiver. So that's okay. He's saying, you know, they are LEDs. All right. And we have more? No more. This is enough. He's trying to hand me another string here. We do not want. Put them over by the elevator. That looked, you know, the elevator looked a little bit sparse. SWL 33, I'm checking myself in. Bozo Control. And all the crew here at the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 34. Jimmy. Let me get Jimmy checked in. He's probably doing a lot of stuff. I want to say hello to Tango Romeo 21 X-Ray from upstate South Carolina. Thanks for joining us, Foxman 362. Yes, those apparently are LED lights. I know. The plastic fantastic, Hans, is exactly what this is. Where are our, you know, you would have known if they were the C9s because it would be the glass bulbs and all the paint. Probably the lead-based paint would be peeling off of them. United Delta X-Ray 4570 in beautiful Palm Springs, where they never use LED lights. They do the real stuff. Palm Springs is good for mid-century modern. They wouldn't be caught dead using LED C9s. Rusty Rails, Hello Radio. You know what? I never know what's going to happen. I just read off of the cue cards and go and try and get into the radios as soon as possible to sort of save me from having to do much. Mid-Atlantic Radio Repair saying happy holidays to all the tube radio operators and shortwave listeners. I agree. Big Rich 6520 stepping out of the studio to say good evening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks, JB as well. Who else? I'll see. I'll keep a track on who is joining us tonight. Black Duck, United Delta X-Ray 294 out of Tennessee. Hello to Ken, who is joining us tonight. A lot of stations jumping over from old radio night, which is still happening. And Gary checking in from Adelaide, South Australia. We did not hear, that because of the time change and things get dark in the Great Line, we did not hear stations from your area this evening, but you never know. You never know. Things might pop in, so don't go away. Oh, there's 23 Skidoo. I'm glad I checked. I'm glad I checked my stuff. 23 Skidoo checking in from the bushes on Christmas Tree Lane. We did have our official Christmas Tree Lane check-in last week. If you missed it, I should got a replay, but I don't have a replay set up for that. And the elf. One of Santa's elves was beaconing on the walkie-talkie. ETC had a few too many and decided to decorate the tour bus with some pilfered decorations. And no wonder they're not here yet. They're probably having to go through the checkpoint Charlie at the end of Van Ness Avenue. So Santa is rewriting his naughty and nice list. So tell the boys to put the stuff back. So, yeah, the locals were definitely angry. All right, Mr. Skidoo, I've got you checked in. And directed net roll call. Mr. Bill checking in over at oldtuberadio.net. Where, what does he say? From Cheyenne. He doesn't say cold, windy, rainy, or otherwise, but you are checked in. And Mr. Bill, our favorite guy at Red Monkey Communications, responsible for a lot of radios that you will hear stopping by tonight. SWL 36. SWL 37 checked in early. He's out in the movie studio. He might be back. From Byron, California, listening in somewhere and pointing the beam and firing up the reverse preamp and trying to take a transmission. I'm listening for you, Sam, right now. SWL 39. SWL 40. Oh, let's talk to SWL 40. We've got something to talk about. Hello, 40.
Yes, I'm checking in, and we are running a live stream on YouTube right now of the waterfall SDR.
All right, let me see if I can bring that up. Live stream on YouTube. You might be able to leave a link. I don't know if you can leave a link in the comments. That is, well, without audio, I can't tell if that's you or me. Let's see if I got audio for this.
Yes.
Okay, there's Larry. Well, you are a dog in the front end of that SDR, aren't you? That's called massive overload. You can see it right there. All right, let me see if I can bring that up. Live stream on YouTube. You might be able... Okay, and there's the instant replay. So thanks, Larry. We will be referring to that picture, the waterfall, the display, the scope, tonight as we check in the radios. We will be able to check your bandwidth and possibly were you to be on or off frequency. So, Larry, if it stays up, we'll be jumping into that a couple of times for our tube radio operators. They appreciate it, and it's pretty darn cool. Thanks.
It does wipe out the front end of the SDR. But if you would copy and paste the address into your YouTube comment section, that would be the way you could share it.
All right. Larry is assuming that I'm astute with all things computerized, so we'll see if I can copy and or paste, looking for the paste button, and then sending it on its way, maybe. It's so big, it's not allowing me to do that. Let's try this. -112. You know what? It's not... Oh, wait a minute. It doesn't appear to allow me to do that, so I must have some... you know what? I probably have something, or there's something turned on that says, you can't put a URL on there because people are spamming. So, yeah, it's not allowing me to do that. Over.
Well, I think you should be able to do it because you're the moderator, or you're the person streaming, or you're the account streaming, right?
Yeah, but I mean, there should be a lot of things that I can do around here, and I can't even get decorations. So I think there is probably some fail-safe thing that says we'll default you, so you don't have to worry as a moderator. You don't have to worry about pulling off URLs because they're usually not good. But this one is good. It's in my chat window. Once I put it in there and it realizes it's a URL, my little button that says send this doesn't seem to be functioning. Over.
Okay.
All right, well, I'll see now. I'm trying to think, can I type anything? Oh, that went away. See, now I'm locked out of the whole thing. I've got to erase all of it. I'm sorry, taking extra time here. And then let me do a test and hit enter. Yeah, see, then I had to totally erase it before I could send anything out. Now that is what we used to say back in the day, a bummer.
Are you using OBS to stream?
I am using OBS to stream.
Okay, I think OBS opens its own chat window. Are you trying that chat window, or are you trying to send it in the YouTube chat window?
I'm trying to send it in the chat window that is open, where everyone is seeing what is happening. Because that's the only chat window there is.
Well, there OBS has it opens a chat window when you start streaming as well.
Well, I don't know. I have no idea what chat window this is. It's the chat window that always opens. It's there. I don't know what it's connected to. That's the only one I got. Oh, all right. Aaron, who knows about these things, says I'm running an old version of OBS, and I guarantee you my version of OBS is very old. So it probably doesn't allow those things, or it doesn't give you the option to unallow them. All right. Enough of that. We will find a way to set up this link. But again, I'll be referring to the link when we get to the radio, so a lot of people won't have to do it. But I know it's pretty cool. If you're out of the area or close to the area, it'd be nice to key it in. You might be able to put it were you to get in at oldtuberadio.net and leave it on there. I think that will allow you to do that. But then again, you have to be able to get onto that. Continuing on. Thank you, Larry. This is good stuff. Continuing on with the roll call. I think that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to continue on with the roll call. Let's go to... I don't know what is happening now. It just opened up a new window. We don't want to do that. What I would like to do is say SWL41. See, I'm at like 3 different windows. Here we go. I got to get to the right one. Mr. Road Dog 507. I'll keep an eye out for Mr. Road Dog. SWL 42.
Yeah, Proxy and 42 in the gang.
All right, we'll do 42 and the gang, Mr. KW, and associated items of interest. Also get a proxy check-in for SWL 43 Crazy Eddie. Say hello to... I'm trying to think. You don't need a link. You could just, Larry, couldn't you just go to your YouTube page, whatever that is, and it would show up? Maybe that would show up. Jukebox 502. Praising the efforts of the bewildered old Tube Radio Net controller and the guy that knows how to do it over there at Old Radio 9. SWL 44. Shortwave listener 45, Paul and Kelly, if you are listening in, I hope you're listening in. Hope you are doing okay. There's going to be some rain coming up your way, but it won't be too cold, so it should be nice. Thanks for joining us and listening in. Next on the list, SWL 46. Shortwave listener 47.
Good evening to all from the Radio Lounge, where it smells like nice hot vacuum tubes and perhaps a bit of nicotine. SWL 47.
Yeah, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas with the tubes lit up on the tree. We've got some decorations such as they are strung around. We try our best, whatever that means. You are good. I'm glad you are not out in the elements tonight, and appreciate your efforts last week to give us the Christmas tree lane. But it sounds like you are on the big machine tonight.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to go out there tonight, but a little on the tired side, so I thought I'd be a lazy bum and chat on this thing.
Oh, not lazy at all. It's the best way to do it. It's the only way to fly on a Saturday evening. Thanks for joining us. Over.
Well, thank you, and I'll be around in a bit to check this in.
Hey, Mikey.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to be home most of tomorrow?
I'm going to be home half of tomorrow.
Which half?
That's kind of hard to answer. Away in the morning, a short time in the afternoon, and a short time in the evening.
Okay, I'll try your phone when I'm available. Got something for you. Okay, thank you.
All right, very good. And Let's see. Okay, Larry left a link in the chat room. I think that's going to YouTube. Foxman, you know what? 362, I think what happens is when it sees a URL, it just ignores it until I update my OBS or click the little switch that says it's okay. You know, it's okay to do that. But try, Larry just put one there that might actually go up to the link, the SDR link that which should look like. Let me bring it back up yet again. Should look like that. Hey, there is the radio that was just there. I think that's me talking. We won't spend chat room. I think that's going to YouTube. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. We'll be able to see where your radio is going and stuff like that, and it should look, it should look pretty cool. Oh, it's a live video, so I have to be careful on. That's what happens. I'm turning it off and on here by pressing buttons. Don't you love 21st century technology? All right, back to the direct-to-net roll call, the Old Tube Radio Network, SWL 48. Hey, Sammy, thanks. Kitchen Patrol out there, way out there in Madera, thinking, you know what, this guy in Fresno is still a mud duck, but we're coming out anyway. Thanks, Sam, I got you checked in. All right, I am always grateful for those stations that have very good receivers to hear the likes of this station right here, the Old Tube Radio Network. And realize we have been doing this since, I don't know, 1986? There are people out there who have been joining us for 30 plus years on a Saturday evening. So anybody that says CB radio isn't happening, you just got to hang out on the Old Tube Radio Network. And speaking of which, we will be recreating the sound that you might have heard were you to be out and about on your tube radio back in the 1960s and 70s when our tube radios start checking in. So don't go away. Let's go to SWL 49. SWL 50. Shortwave listener 51. All right, out there near Sangertown. Hello, Dave, 305. We got the X in the square. Thanks for joining us. SWL 52.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis, and all the SWLs out there. SWL 52 behind the silver microphone.
You know, where you'd have been watching the video, you would kind of see me at the ready. Is he going to be coming in on this? Is he going to be over at Echo Link? Is he coming in over the airwaves, live and direct?
Over here too.
And there he is, in stereo or something. All right, so you did it. Anyway, it sounds good. Yeah, I'm getting a little window that says, "Would you like to update your OBS?" And they're probably, it's one of those things. Probably saying, "Please, you knucklehead, please update your OBS." So I will try that. I'm always afraid when you update something that's sort of working and then it doesn't work at all. So I know I got to get over that. So I should update that and maybe things will be better. SWL 52 with the X in the square. Thanks.
Oh yeah, you're probably almost better building a second computer, putting the new version on there, and then testing everything out. Yeah, I just actually got done building a computer for the Bozo Nets, and we're going to be taking that up the hill when I didn't have those from up there. So that's going to be an interesting project next week. Catch you later, Dennis.
All right, thanks. Well, we'll see. I guess you can always reverse things. Maybe not. An update should be good. The problem is I don't do a lot of stuff with OBS, so when the update happens and it's like, oh, I have to go fix this, it's like, that's the thing I did 3 years ago. I don't remember what it was I even did, so that I can fix it. Thanks. We're almost ready to turn page 3, and I will do that after checking in SWL 53, Mr. Bel Air.
Yeah, you got 53, Bel Air the Legend, checking in there, Dennis. You're doing a great job. Have a good night.
All right, Bob, you are loud tonight. Did you change something in the radio room? You are beaconing quite nicely into Midtown.
I got a new radio hooked on to a good coax. That's putting a lot of good things to it there, 10-4 and a big power supply.
Yeah, sounds good. Audio's good, not overdriven, big signal, and beaconing worldwide at oldtuberadio.net. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Have a good night there, Dennis. Catch you next weekend.
And the Victor Kilowatt, VK3, I like that. He says, no, do not update. That is a, let that be a warning to you. Page 3, direct net roll call. We've got to check in for Mr. Boardjammer, SWL 54, going up the hill to SWL 55. Okay, I don't think that was Eminem, because he would be much stronger than that. SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. 56, just for kicks.
Hey, sounding good. Hope all is well that way. And Phil, Grandpa decorates simply. I mean, he's festive, but he doesn't go overboard. I think he has like one or two, like a red. He has one every color, a white, a green, a blue, a red, and an orange. And then he's done. That's the way to do it. None of these 50-string lights that go on forever. I wonder if this is the kind that if one goes out, they all go out. I don't think so, but you never know. And you never know what they pull out of the bag here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go to SWL 57, Mr. Brown Dog Audio. What's happening in central Kentucky tonight, Mr. BDA? All right, and the ever-popular GNJ, and he's looking around, GNJ, oh, that's me, the Timtron. Yeah, well, it's the best I could do. Normally we have a tree. They had to take the tree back out into the green room because there was some power failure, so the crew, the staff here at the Old Tube Radio Network said, you know, we're decorating, we'll just hand the lights up on the stage, and there we did. It's working good. What I like is these seem to be the LED lights, and I didn't hear a speck of RF into the receiver. I could be wrong. So that's a plus right there. I like these lights already. And don't tell me they used the Costco card to pick these up. That's probably what happened. Let's go over to SWL 58. And Mill Valley, you guys, you'll be getting your rain coming up maybe Monday. It's going to rain for a lot. SWL 59. Uncle Hairball is checking in. United Delta X-Ray 786, otherwise known as, when you come to this channel, SWL 59. Did I mention, I'm sure I have, that you don't need an SWL number to get in. The list is sort of a finite thing that has been going on for 30 years, so the numbers are limited. So you don't have to be on any list. No secret handshakes. No funny stuff. You can just show up. Come as you are. You don't even need a radio. How cool is that? Thanks for joining us. SWL, I know he's out there, SWL 60.
Hello, Dennis, and happy holidays for all the CBers out there for sure. Dennis, SWL 60, checking in.
60 checking in and doing a good job of it. I'm putting the X in the square. Thanks.
Thanks so much there, Dennis. And, the doggies, I guess the old bulldoggies, you know, they did what they had to do. Anyway, SWL 60, once again, checking in.
All right, what do they say? Go Dogs. Or the license plate that John Wallace, remember the TV anchor John Wallace, used to have on his red Corvette. It said, Go You Dogs. You know, he had season tickets and one of the best seats in the house, probably. SWL 61, Dino, Mr. Copenhagen, is checked in. Checked in early. Refreshing my comment page to see what's going on. Over to SWL 62. Shortwave listener 63. Is Butterbean out there in North Georgia? Should we give North Georgia a shout out? and an X in the square. I think I saw this station in a bit earlier, SWL 64. Beaconing out there from 9 land to 6 land. And Unix 4570 said, you make me laugh. You're the only one that gets this. Saying that Chuckles doesn't have to get out of bed for this. I know, we make it too easy. I'm sorry, for Vinegar. We make it too easy for that tragic clown to get away with a lot of stuff. Let's go to SWL 65. SWL 66. Shortwave listener 67, Bill, if you're listening, you've got the Universal Media Netweb tuned up and on. I will get a check-in for you out there up in near Canby, I think. Hello, Albert and the gang says they are warming up the radios and listening. Let me check. Uh-oh. Let me see if I got the satellite link. Oh, you know what? The satellite link is up. It looks like we'll be able to do that. So stay up late. Stay up late, won't you? And we'll see if we can't get you guys in on the uplink. Let's go to SWL 68. That's Michael in New York, and he was in earlier, and he said, check me in, please, because it's way later here than it is where you are. SWL 69, also, Kenny was joining us out of Tulsa, Oklahoma earlier. Kenny, if you're watching the replay, where is it? You are checked in. Right there. Over to SWL 70. Mark, the Morgan Canyon magician. It was good to hear him a couple days ago on the portable radio. Dallas, Georgia, who was way up in the balcony earlier, and I'm trying not to blow stuff up, but was checking in. SWL 71 Stan, checking in. I don't know what is going on in the bands. I didn't hear a lot of contest. I didn't listen, but I was on 40 meters earlier, and I did not hear a lot of the contesters going on. So maybe they're going to do contests late in the season. Ontario CB Club 9, Oscar Charlie, saying hello, radio. Hello, right back to you. Thanks for joining the Old Tube Radio Network. Over to Radio Boy, SWL 72. SWL 73. Got to check in on the crossband for SWL 74. Then we're jumping over to Johnson, Rhode Island. Oh, to Rhode Island. We're paddling over to Rhode Island. Some people they think Rhode Island. Where is that, out by Hawaii? What is that island thing? I don't know. See if Red Fox 1 is out there. At least he knows where he's at. I'm going to get a proxy check-in for Red Fox 1. No, there is a bit of delay if you're watching the stream, so I just have to make sure that I get the people checked in correctly. Now, there is no delay here. This next station beacons into my antenna at the speed of light, and also with about the same intensity of signal as the sun. SWL 77.
Good evening, and Dennis, we appreciate everything you do for us, and all the listeners out there. I hope they're having a good time, and everybody have a great weekend. 1017-77, checking in.
All right, and the viewers, the listeners at home, I popped up the S-meter to show and he's being nice. Dennis is being nice. I popped up the S-meter to show the 40 over signal, and you think, oh, he's just down the street. Well, no, he's not just down the street. He's like way, way down the street, but he's still got 40 over. Sounding good, sir, and I have it under, I don't know. A little bird told me that you might have a radio for us tonight.
Yeah, the old Cam 88.
All right, sounds good. SWL 78, Richard in Wild Wildemar, I think. I don't know, he might be remoting out of some one of his secret locations. But Richard, I saw you in there earlier, and are you on Echolink? Who's on Echolink? No, it's not there, but that's a cool thing. The Lafayette Comstat 25A. Well, the Timtron, that actually qualifies. I don't know if we'll have one tonight. That used to be a very popular check-in radio. The Comstat 25A, 25B, the Comstat 19. We don't get many of them now. Been looking on eBay for replacement. So I'll put in a request to Harvey. If he comes up with the 25A, that we will tag it for you. Because that was a nice radio, good receiver, good transmitter, and it looked like a tube, like the classic tube radios before they started putting the woods on the side to make it look like a Kenwood stereo. SWL 78, I got you checked in, Richard. SWL 79, Mr. DC checked in early and got him in there. SWL 80.
Who wants one?
That is the Timtron, who used to be here in beautiful Fresno and still comes in to visit occasionally, but he's listening in tonight and said his rig in the mid-70s was a Lafayette Comstat 25A, and he's been looking for one on eBay for a replacement.
Okay, I'll look around.
All right, good deal, because I could actually get that delivered to him as well, and he would. He's got availability to these giant antennas, so he might be able to jump up on the biggest antenna on the West Coast and hook the coax up and see if he can beacon in with his 5-watt DC input. Thank you, Harvey.
Okay.
SWL 80. And did I mention what is going on with the Big Red Limo tonight? They've been busy. They've been out collecting unwrapped gifts. And I guess we're going to have a wrapping session here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Unwrapped gifts for the kids to be distributed coming up. So the Big Blue and Big Red Limos have been busy doing that like they do every year. So good deal on that. SWL... Did I say don't forget to feed the fish and to feed the cat? I've got a reminder about not forgetting to feed the cat, but the fish can't really tap on the glass and say, hey, how about a treat? SWL 81, got to check in as we go to page 4. The radios are coming up shortly, so don't go away. I was asked to give a proxy check-in for SWL 82, which I will do unless he shows up. All right, Ron, you are checked in, and I will mention that SWL 82 Ron runs the Ditch Banks sideband net that happens Friday evenings here in the Central Valley at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right now on 36 lower, 27.365. That is also being streamed. Larry may be streaming that, or somebody's putting that up on the stream. Aaron. So you might be able to tune into that on one of the various stream things and hear what goes on. And Ron's got a great station, so were there to be Skip, you would hear him and he would hear you, and he'd get you checked in. Let's go over to SWL 83. That is JZ. Is that JC out there in Ohio tonight? All right, I can tell I'm talking too much. SWL 84, we'll get the quadruple play here. SWL 84, 86, 87, and 88. That's Cheerios Kid Jerry was on the 40-meter Jefferson noontime net. I don't know what days he runs it, but if you're on 7204 and probably here on the West Coast at that time, maybe a little bit in the Midwest, Jerry runs, is one of the net controllers, I should say, of the Jefferson noontime net over on 7204. And he runs, believe it or not, he runs a classic Swan tube radio, and it's got a nice, big, loud signal. So it's just fun to listen in to SWL, that Swan radio. And also check-ins for Mountain Maid Tandy Girl and the Snowy Owl. We are going over to SWL 90. Got a check-in for 90 over to SWL 91. Hello, Felix. And Felix, as always, saying hello to the gang here at Net Control, the shortwave listeners, the tube radio operators. And did it just turn midnight? Is it Sunday over there now? Anyway, always thanks for staying up late with us here on the West Coast and waiting for those radios. Over to SWL 93. SWL 95. In beautiful Orlando, Florida, Warthog 95 checking in. Saying good evening to the crew. SWL 96, Mr. Poonpicker checked in earlier. Over to Jim and the Boston group out there. It's been a long time since I've been to Boston and counted all the bricks. There are a lot of bricks in Boston. They're in the buildings, they're in the streets, they're everywhere. And they're not just any bricks. They're not like the bricks that we have here in Central California. It's like, we made this brick last week. Go throw it in your patio. These are bricks that, I think Benjamin Franklin was leaning against that brick at one time. Those are the kind of bricks they have in Boston. Anyway, Jim, we got you checked in. SWL 98. Hello, Tracy. I haven't heard you in a while. I haven't been in the right spot at the right time, I guess. I will get you checked in. SWL 99, were we to have some conditions, Randy, 99, would be checking in over the air from Phoenix, which he did a couple of weeks ago. Otherwise, he might be on our display screen tonight, so I'll keep an eye out for Randy. And I'm checking out the Echo Link as our next station, who is the official purveyor of TOTA. You've heard of Parks on the Air, Summits on the Air. Tony runs Tubes on the Air, specifically here on a Saturday evening, so that when we fire up the old radios, we can get them checked in properly on the Echo Link. Hello, Tony, KB6GFD. And Tony joins us from Echolink.
Good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. Good to hear you. You're sounding great. Back to Net Control, KD4BAO.
All right, Tony, checking in from McClellanville, South Carolina on the Echolink link. I tell you, Tony, you've got the best Echolink audio. I don't know what you do, but it's always nice and clear. It doesn't sound digitally, and I do my own little, return on the Echolink server, and I do not sound that good. So, hats off to you on the audio. Thanks for joining us, and Tubes on the Air will be showing up shortly. 73 KB6GFD. I like the depth perception these lights have, but they're so bright. You know what? I've got an idea. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. There's hang on. I think we can get a check in here. K6MI from Kilowatt Bravo 6, Germany, France, Denmark. I'm kind of trying to see if I can get John checked in. He might be here.
Yeah. Well, just leaving the convention center. We had a money. And I'm down inside myself. Larry, if he happened to be on.
Okay, Larry is probably listening. You're on the Old Tube Radio Network right now. We will get you checked in from the convention center, so no doubt you were doing a performance. So it probably went well. Larry is just down the street from you, so I will let you give Larry a call. But thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network and beaconing worldwide, whether you wanted to or not. KB6GFD.
Jolly good. Season's greetings to everybody, and very good. 3 checking in, K6MI.
Now, how's that for a coincidence? That's John, and he is a member of the Fresno Philharmonic, plays the violin, and no doubt they were giving some concert tonight, and he's just leaving the convention center downtown.
Hi, Larry. Do you want to QSY up to 5-8, or just say hi?
Yeah, let's do that. 5-8.
Okay, we have, let's see, I'm off the Echolink, 100 is checked in. We got 73 checked in officially on the crossband. Let's go to shortwave listener 102. Oh, and I'm, these lights are mesmerizing. I'm saying 102, and I'm just staring off into space, and 102 is right there. John is right there from Scranton, Arkansas. The X is in the square. Thank you, sir. SWL 103. Did Joey come in tonight? Joey M was saying he might want to get an SWL number, so I thought he might stop by. We'll put that one on hold. Let's go up the hill to just like minutes south of Santa's Workshop here on the West Coast. SWL 109. Now we got a proxy check-in for 109. He's a busy dude. He's probably doing something, some holiday thing. He's in demand. You know how those good-looking guys are. They always are in demand to go do stuff. Let's go to SWL 110. SWL 111. Robert checked in earlier from beautiful Reedley, California. SWL 113. And Mr. Rickshaw, SWL 114.
114, checking in.
Hey, Wayne, sounding good as always. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network, and I've got you checked in.
Thank you for checking in, Dennis.
Then it's over to shortwave listener 128, John in Fairfax, Virginia. And I'm running over to my other board here and refreshing the comments because John often stops by there. Hello to who joined us here? Hamlin Heights? Where's Hamlin Heights? And Germantown, Wisconsin. Let me see if I can get, if I'm doing this right. Hamlin Heights. What's going on there? Oh, that's our friend out there in Australia. So we're at 78 degrees. You realize that it is summer over there, right? Or spring? What is it? Is it spring or summer? It's certainly not winter. At 4:07 p.m. Hamlin Heights is a residential suburb of, I'm going to say this wrong, Geelong. It's located to the west of the city and on the hills that overlook Corio Bay. It was named after Sydney. Oh, this is interesting. Let's keep going. It's named after Sydney Hamlin, a local resident in the 1940s. At the 2016 census, Hamlin Heights had a population of 6,293, and one of them is tuned in to the Old Tube Radio Network, or somewhere close by. So thanks for joining us up in the balcony tonight. Wander down to the green room and have some eggnog or whatever it is they're doing out there tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network, the radios are on their way, I promise. Let's go to SWL 131. SWL 133. Yeah, sometimes the little URL lockup things don't exactly put you where you might actually be. It says, here's where I think you are, here's where your little connection is. But you may be on the other side of that connection. Let's go to shortwave listener 135.
SWL 135 checking in if you can hear me.
I can hear you, as we say on the Armature Radio, fine business, old man. And we will look forward to that. Oh, Joey. All right. Thank you, Joey. Tango Romeo 21 X-ray. Joey, you are... I jotted you in on SWL, on this page, by the way, 103. We don't... The numbers aren't consecutive. I mean, this list is 35 years old, so the numbers are here and there. But... I have you in as SWL 103, so do like I do. Or maybe, don't do like I do and take a Post-it note. And then write shortwave listener 103, the Old Tube Radio Network, Saturday night, 27085, 8 o'clock, and then put it somewhere. Put it on some obnoxious place where it's always going to be kind of in your way, but it will remind you of the thing. So let me check you in again. Let me go to the 103, and what happens is I click the little thing. It's all kind of electronic magic, and then up here it says SWL, but it says checking in. You're checking in. But when you are actually there, I do another little magical thing, and boom, it says that you are checked in. Like magic. I don't know what that means, but there it is. All right, thanks for joining us. Let's go to SWL 137. Oh, and I'm going to get the Phantom checked in as per a request. Over to... Oh, and Tony is there. Let me see if I can do this. Because of the delay and the fact that I don't have a mouse, and I have to do that, and so we'll try it. All right. KB6GFD. Hello, Tony. If you're there, take a transmission. We'll get you checked in. AJ6PD from KB6GFD on the Echo link. Over. So we're going to try and get SWL 145. Tony up in Corsco. Here
Tony,
he is.
AJ6PD on Echo Link. Watching the live stream. Can I get the crossband frequency, please?
Yeah, the crossband frequency is 146,550 simplex. On simplex, 146,550. Over. So I think Tony might be able to hear. My antenna is pretty low, so I don't know if I would jump in on that.
Got the 146,550. Thank you.
Yeah, and be advised that my antenna is kind of stuck in a tree, so I don't know if I can hear you or not, and that would be my fault. But it's worth a try, and at some time in the 21st century, I will have my antennas up where they should be. But that's we use a simplex frequency for that, and it's always kind of up in the background. Thanks for joining us tonight, and thanks for all the good things you do on the Friday morning net and others as well. 73 KB6GFD. That's Tony up in Corsco checking in on the Echo link. And he's got a good signal. He drops by the Ditch Bank's sideband net, and he might be on the Wednesday net as well on 10 meters. He's got a good signal. Neil, SWL 147 from Kakalaki checked in early. Let's go to Mr. Snowbeast, SWL 188.
Good evening, Tom Dennis. Good evening, Tom to all SWLs. 188 checking in.
188 sounding good. I always applaud our, since we go in order on the list, those who are at the end of the list for being very patient and putting up with my slowness on the check-in list. But you are there and you're sounding good.
10-4 evening time and no worries.
All right, very good, because I'm trying to get to the tube radio time. Where are these lights? I'm just sort of staring off as what they call it. Oh, you know what I was going to do? Oh, well, let me hang on. Let me finish the roll call. SWL 195, Jim up in Corscold. Checked in early, and you might still be listening somewhere. You can listen in anyway, right? You can listen at 27085. You can listen in at oldtuberadio.net on your universal media, like this thing, your little universal media net web device, where to work on that. What else could you do? You could watch the replay. There's actually a replayer and listen in for your own check-in. Give yourself a radio check if you dare. Let's go to SWL 226. Mr. Shockwave, any late or missed check-ins or anybody that would like to say hello radio or listening? All right, I was going to, since we have so much festiveness in the lighting department here, see if I could do some trickery on the camera. And so for the tube radios, that really don't care about seeing me, we care about seeing, I'm going to, how about that? I'm going to turn down the lights a little bit so that no, that's too much. Maybe, no, I like that. I think you can't see me. Turn it, something like that. All right, set the mood. We will be back with the tube radios. So I'm dressed the part. Believe it might be 1962. And we'll recreate that sound in a couple of minutes. Back with the tube radios on the old tube radio network. Stand by. Okay, we are back, and I agree it is time to burn the dust off the tubes, because it's time to do what the old tube radio network was set out to do best, and that's check in tube radio.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The old tube radio network.
RADIO. Thank you, Mr. Freeberg. Thank you, Billy May and the orchestra. Thank you, X4000. And it is, did someone turn down the lights? It is time for your tube radios. What we do best here is, and why we are here, to give stations a chance to, you've seen it before. You've gone down to the corner hamburger stand, and on a Friday evening or a Sunday morning, the old cars, the fins and chrome of the 1950s and 60s and 70s will drive up and put on a show. Well, that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to have the Tube Radios drive around the block at your chance to get in, take a transmission, and tell us what you've got, ask questions, whatever. That's why we are here for the Tube Radios. We are looking for radio listening and looking for radio number 1.
135, 135.
20, 20, 20. Does that make me 60?
Well, I could never do the math, so we'll take it with 20. All right, Harvey, jump into the green room. We'll be with you in just a moment. There is plenty of holiday goodies from which to choose. And Cliff, Mr. Green Arrow, step up into the old Tube Radio air chair and take a transmission over.
Okay. Assuming this thing is working, this is SWL 135 on a one of 2 non-specific radios I'm going to check in tonight. From beautiful downtown Burbank, California, this is the General Master Control number 5. It's the General MC5. 9 tubes, and I'm trying to figure it out here. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 transmit channels, but I can receive just about everything. Back to you.
Yeah, this is the non-specific radio frequency. All right, I just did, as per the requests, get out my Tube Radio glowing in the background behind me, the Johnson 223. And I forgot to, I think we've done this one before, to populate the pocket protector with the pin of the week from General Electric Supply Company at 204 East Willard Street, 6613 Muncie, Indiana. Let me go to the less than stellar close-up camera. And this is the cool one that has that probably toxic, can you see that liquid-filled little bubble thing going on, like a lava lamp? And this pin is heavy. And the focus, no, will it focus? No, it won't. But anyway, we don't have a budget. We don't have a budget here for cameras, but that's going in the pocket protector tonight. Thank you to General Electric Supply Company, 204 East Willard Street. And I bet that the General Electric Supply Company back in 1963 may have had, if I could keep my radio keyed, may have had a way to if you walked into their business, say, oh yes, we can get you a brand spanking new General Radio Telephone Super MC5. But no need, we've got one, well, almost new. We've got one right here and right now. Go back to you.
Okay, well, this one isn't super yet. This predates the Super MCs. This is just the Master Control 5. Let's see, it's got all the basics, and I hope it's working because I'm not seeing any swing in my thing. And I would like to let's see, I have another mic. I have the original microphone for this. I'm currently using the General 27 handheld plastic non-amplified microphone. But I've got a hold of the, the General 28 microphone, and it's also known as the waffle mic. It will take me like 2 shakes to plug it in.
Hey, no problem. In fact, we're showing a shot of a General Telephone MC, not Super, thank you for the correction there, MC5 with, and that was a great description, with the waffle microphonium. Looks like you could make the Belgian waffle, stamping that into the batter. So Cliff is going to change to that microphone, and we'll see what the difference is. Over.
Okay. Yeah, these microphones use the PL68, I think it is, plug, which is very much like it looks for all the world like a 1/4-inch stereo plug, but it's not. It's a little smaller, and hello. This is the one that is mentioned that came with this radio in the manual. The manual talks about a chrome plated handheld microphone, and I'm pretty sure this is it. How does this one compare?
Well, I didn't have the Orban loudness meter up for the first microphone, but to my ear, I'm going to say this has more audio gain, so we'll call that loudness. But I think the other microphone had a bit more clarity, if that makes any sense. So this one is louder, but the other one had a little, like the highs and the lows were a little bit cleaner and clearer, but it's very close. Looking for the comments here. Somebody says they like the first microphone, with no problem with that. So it depends. If you want to look cool, obviously you've got to plug this one in. If you don't care about that, and you might want to, be nice around the edges on the low frequencies and the high frequencies, maybe the other one. Over.
Okay, well, a couple of things. You want to check my frequency, and also, do you have the Orban meter up? I can switch the microphones real fast.
Okay, I am actually working on some video things I messed up here, so let me make sure that I have, without breaking anything, doing that okay. All right, so that's fine. So yeah, I'm going to get the Orban meter back up. So take a transmission on the waffle mic. Over.
Oh, sorry, I already switched to the 27. This is the General 27 plastic mic, and don't bother keying up. This will only take a second. I'll switch to the chromium mic. Okay, this is, that was the 27, this is the General 28. Hello, also known as the waffle mic. 1, 2, 3, suffering sibilance and boom, boom, boom and all that. How's that?
Okay, all right, the numbers don't lie. We're looking for the LKFS, that's a level under full scale. And if you're talking normally, I'm going to say they're pretty close loudness-wise, but you can certainly get that one you're on now to pump up another couple of dB of gain that you don't get with the other one. But I think as you hear, it's rolling off either some of the, or accentuating some mid-range and rolling off some of the high frequencies that the other microphone is not. So again, the clarity issue comes in. So it's 6 of one. You know what they say, 6 of one and half a dozen of something else. Over.
Yeah, I say I want to hear what they sound like myself, and of course I also want to hear this. This is the infamous MP5 tone signal. Okay, had to do that.
You had to do that because you could. I believe it is often known as the Q-Bird, the tone signal. Is that what they call it on? I'm going to the close-up of the radio. There's a switch underneath the meter that does say tone signal. So, all right, how do you engage that? Is it you just push it down or push it up? Right now, the one we're seeing, the switch is up.
So is mine right now. Yeah, it's spring-loaded, momentary switch, and yeah, it says tone signal. And if I had the manual with me, I could tell you all about it. They talk about it in the manual. There's a whole paragraph dedicated just to the tone signal. And yeah, it's spring-loaded, so yeah, you got to hold it down in order to make it work.
Sounds like the Martians are attacking, or a video game sound, and I will give you a frequency check. The tone signal, now, the tone signal is infamous. Let me read something here. 1962, the MC5 came out. General Radio Telephone, if you look back at some of the 1962 catalogs and magazines, the CB magazines at the time, General Radio Telephone was paying for full-page, half-page ads for this radio back in 1962. So this is their flagship. It's sold for $199.95 at most places. in 1963. I think this came out late 1962. It was probably the most advertised general radio telephone CB. The MC5 was much like the MC4, the Master Control 4, but had a stronger transmitter. And this was the last general with the tone signal thanks to the FCC. It was replaced with a bullhorn on the MC6, which is basically a PA, their name for the PA. And the reason the FCC did that is some people would use the tone signal, shall we say, malicious interference. And it was a tone built into the radio. It was on the radio. So there were boxes that had tone signals and tone alerts, but they were separate boxes. They weren't built into the radio. And I don't know, it's a spring-loaded switch. So in theory, you know, general radio telephone was thinking, it's like, well, what if you left it on by mistake? It would just go on forever. So they made the spring-loaded thing, but the FCC still wasn't happy with that. It's like, it's on the radio. Don't build noisemakers, you know, tone signals. Don't build them into the radio. They have to be separate because, you know, some people are misusing them. So that's what happened. The MC5 had a nice ceramic chrome-plated electro-voice microphonium, which we have heard the demonstration, and it was available in a 6-volt DC version for your 6-volt automobile, a 12-volt DC version for your 12-volt automobile, and 115-volt AC as well, depending, I guess, on the type of plug that goes in the back. Back to you.
Yeah, it was advertised. Like there was a lot of neat stuff for it. You'll have to ask Harvey about this one, but there was also, if I'm not mistaken, a sideband version of this radio, or like there was an extra box you could get to make it sideband. Again, you'll have to ask Harvey about all that. So yeah, they really went over the software. With that, really well. I think Harvey might have something. And I've got one more in-specific radio to check in a little later.
All right, don't go away, because I want you to take a transmission. We're going to go over to the Larry cam here. So 85, you're 85.2. And I didn't have it engaged when you keyed up, but that's what we're going to do. So let me find, I'll stay keyed up here, because I think I still have it. Uh-oh, is it gone? Oh, it's not there anymore. Let me make sure that I'm not doing something wrong here. I'm trying to see if I can get into... let me make sure that I'm not doing something wrong here. Okay, that's me. I don't care about me. Okay,
click
for some...
on my YouTube account and then go back to it.
Okay, so yeah, I want to get the... Well, I'm trying to refresh it and see if it'll come up, and it just comes up to... Oh, I see. I have to bring it all the way up to the live. Is that what we do?
It's a different stream.
Oh, it's a different stream.
Different address. You got to go back to my main page.
Okay, wherever your main page is. I don't even know where that is. Okay. Well, darn it, this would be a great way to do that. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. 135.
Roger, Dodger. I am hanging on.
Because this is important stuff. You know what? I have lights.
Click on Larry 785, where the stream is, where the old stream is.
Yeah, I've got your link for that one. Let me see if it's the problem. Now I see that's a problem. Okay, so let's go to this one. Because this is the whole... Okay, then we'll go to this one.
That one. Let me see if it's the
All right, there we are. There's the old Tube Radio Network guy fumbling along.
Because this is the whole... Okay, then we'll go to this one. That one. Let me see if it's...
All right, and we're going to expand the picture.
There's the old Tube Radio Network guy fumbling along.
And I see where the delay is.
Okay, then we'll go to this one. That one.
And it's kind of confusing. Okay, over to you, Cliff. We're going to watch it live as you key up, so go ahead.
It's kind of confusing. Okay,
Okay.
over to you.
I don't know if you're tuning me in or what. I'm a teeny bit high in frequency, but that's okay, because I got tubes that jingle, jangle, jingle. And the cool thing about this tone signal is it is all analog circuitry. It's 2 neon lamps and a capacitor that make that sound. It causes an oscillation like this. I don't know how much that messes up your receive, but how's that? Is that enough?
Yeah.
I don't know how much that messes up your receive.
And there's the tone signal.
How's that? Is that enough?
There's the tone signal right there. You can see it on the display, and it gets you full audio at, 3K either side. Yeah, when you key up, oh, you are off. See, there I am. I'm running frequency. So you key up with a hook, and you'll see it on the display when you watch the playback. And then it tries to get on frequency, but it's still about 200 high, and then it slowly, ever so slowly, drifts up, but not much. Not much at all. And so it looks good. So there you go. And that's what a tube radio does. And that's the cool things. When there's a lot of stations on, a lot of skip going on, you can always tell the stations that are tube radios because you hear them heterodyning with all the noise. Doing that heterodyne thing. That's what's so cool about it. And yours, it would be no exception.
Yeah, okay. Well, like I said, I got one I want to check in a little later. So thanks for letting me swap the mics and play the Tweety Bird and all that stuff. It's a fun radio. Herculean efforts were made today by Harvey to make this happen. There was some disasters, which I think you yourself have experienced in recent times. But it's all back on the air now. Thanks for letting me check it in, and we'll see you in a couple minutes.
All right, absolutely. Thanks for bringing it by. The General Radio Telephone, MC5. The master control was, in theory, their base unit. And they also, at the same time, were making a VS series, the vibration service, which was, in theory, smaller to be used for their mobile, even though you could run the MC5 from 12 or 6 volts. And believe it or not, this radio is only 7 tubes. I think we determined that 7 was the minimum amount of tubes that you needed to do something. A lot of radios had 11, 12, especially if they had sideband, they might have 13 tubes. All 6-volt tubes. And it looks like there's a schematic General MC5 PDF if you go to oldtuberadio.com and look through the little database there. So not bad for $200. Thanks for bringing it by, our first radio. And thank you, Harvey. Speaking of Harvey, thanks, Harvey, for getting that one on the air. We need as many radios as possible. Hello, 20.
Well, number 20 here. Can you hear this one?
Yes, it sounds very good. Over.
Okay. Now this radio, I think you might have heard it long time ago, but very, very rare. Very rare. You haven't heard hardly any of them, I think. This is a General Radio Telephone MC5.
Very rare. I don't think it was that rare in 1963. General Radio Telephone, MC5. And I just closed the Rolodex. So let me go back to the Rolodex and find the MC5. And I may have some other pictures. Oh, you know what? I've got an advertisement. So let's go with the advertisement here, because we talked about that it was very advertised. Free, right for the schematic and complete technical manual, the world's most advanced 11-meter two-way radio, 3¼ watts minimum output. Of course, you can only have 5 watts DC input, which meant that you should only have about 4 watts output maximum. So they're fudging a little bit here. They're trying to let you know this. Yeah, we're pushing the envelope. High-level modulation transformer for unparalleled talk power. New Zener diode shunt noise clamp. Are you familiar, Harvey? Are you familiar with the new Zener diode shunt noise clamp?
Yeah, right there.
All right. Well, yeah. New ultra low drift oscillators for unsurpassed stability. We'll go to the Larry Cam and see where your ultra low drift oscillators are compared to what we saw in that new high level tone signal, which we will see how your tone, if it's working, how it sounds. Illuminated S-meter. Oh, does the S-meter still illuminate? Do you still have a light bulb in there?
Yeah, both light bulbs work. And I should be just a hair low on frequency.
All right, and it's 15-watt construction. So I don't know if that had the little jumper if you wanted to do civil air patrol. Obviously, it's only 5 channels, right? So you would have to plug in a crystal. Optional accessories, 6 or 12-volt cord, $4.95. Crystals for transmitter receive, $2.95. So it's $3. So it's $6 a channel. That's why, when you bought a 23-channel radio back in the day, it was expensive because you were putting those $6 crystals times 22. But I think they gave you a break. So you had to buy all the channels. I had to buy the crystals in a little box. What it's going to cost you another over $100, $120. 90-day warranty in Burbank, California. Department, P8, 3501 Burbank Boulevard. Somebody Google 3501 Burbank Boulevard. What's sitting on that real estate today? All right, let me go to the S meter. We'll go back to Harvey, and we'll do some other stuff. But you're sounding good. I like the audio. What are you doing?
Well, this is the waffle mic. I do have the range boost on, because this one is stock, so it's only like 3 watts, swinging a little up. But it does have this thing here.
And now we know why the FCC said, doggone it, you guys are taking that button out of there.
Oh, yeah. I did something to it.
Yeah, it had the same sort of oscillation, but it was the speed was different.
Check the SDR, see what it looks like.
And, we're going to have you do that again through the SDR. Through the Larry cam here, but you're sounding good, over.
Okay. I have a little problem with my electrical hookup. Let me get back to you.
Okay. And we'll do the frequency chart. Let me make sure that I have the Larry cam up and working. No, it's right behind, and it's not that one. And it's not that one. And it's not that one. So why does every time I go away from it, it goes away? Okay, there it is. Let me see if I can grab it here for a second. Oh yeah, see now you're off on the other side. You're low frequency. So let me stand by and we'll get Harvey back here and see what's going on with the general radio telephone. Over.
There we go. I'm back. Anyway.
So let me stand by.
Yeah, I made a little modification in the back, and I can vary.
All right, here comes the signal.
My Martians a little bit.
All right, yeah, yours is similar to the other one. It keys and it goes up in frequency and then back down, and then back up, and now yours goes low. Cliff's goes high when it keys in. So interesting. All right, in your next transmission, go ahead and do the Q-Bird, and we'll take a look. Plus, it looks like you've got a little bit wider bandwidth on the audio. Maybe you're just talking louder. Maybe it's the range boost. Probably a little bit of IMD, as we say in the biz. So back to you. Go ahead with the Q-Bird tone signal. Over. All right, should be coming up. There it is. Oh wow.
Yeah, the power drops because I've got a bad DC connection.
All right. Oh, that is cool. You can see the tone, and then when you start doing the waivers, it sort of looks like you're driving down up Highway 41 to Yosemite. It looks like a road map. And then you unkeyed and keyed back up again. So yeah, the FCC probably took a look at the scope. I mean, that thing is 10K wide on the tones. And I'm sure that is why the FCC said, you know what, let's not do that. But it's so cool. What's wrong with the FCC anyhow? Over.
Okay. Yeah, I've got too many cables hooked up. Let me try it again here. Yeah, that's the normal sound. And then I can get that other sound by, let's say doing this. And I can talk at the same time. That's when my Martian is crying.
Now, interesting, you're able to, the microphone circuit is still engaged when the tone signal is on, because we can hear your audio through that. All right, now, just the old tube radio disclaimer. If somebody's tuning in for the first time and said, oh, I know it, that CB noisemaker stuff. What we're doing, we're going back to 1963. We're going back to one of the first units that was put in as a tone call. It was put in for a legitimate reason, to make that sound so that your base unit, your mobile units would say, oh, base, KEO 8492 base is trying to call me. This is KEO 8492 mobile, go ahead. And that's what it was for. And that's basically how it was used. But the FCC, some people would say, oh yeah, let's play. And they said, no, you're taking it out. But you can see how neat it is and how it could possibly serve a purpose. And somehow, you know how it is. When someone tells you that you can't have something, you can't do something, I think they made a mistake saying, don't do this, because after that, there were noisemakers galore and microphones and everything else. That's right here. This is what started it all. So anyway, Harvey, take a transmission, and I will find out what, well, I already know what frequency you're on. The Larry cam proved that. You're probably about 200 low, over.
That's bouncing 200 to 300 low. Me and my cough. This tone alert right on the front of the radio. Johnson, Polycom, Sonar, and Lafayette, to name just a few, had external, semi-external tone alerts. The Johnson was one that you plugged in the back, and the tone alert unit had the light, the switch, and all that. The Sonar was the same. The Polycom, and the Lafayette was the same. The Polycom, though, had the tone alert adjustments and light on the front of the unit of the radio. You just had to have this plug-in read relay type setup in the back. When it was plugged in, then it would work. If you didn't have that, you didn't have a tone alert. But anyway, many companies did that.
Yeah, but they were, I guess they were separate units. So that's the only thing I can think of, is that FCC didn't like it being built into the radio. It was just one extra less step that you needed to do to make the noise. I was looking at the ad, and I noticed they have a General Model 615 multifunction bridge. And I've seen those before. They're a very heavy-duty built, I'll call it a piece of test gear. The only single precision instrument that measures true power, standing wave ratio, relative field strength for $40. Do you have one of those in your arsenal?
Well, I have the 615, two 615Bs, or 3, and a 615C, which I'm using right now. Cliff has a 615C, but the meter's iffy, and we're going to see about fixing that. Anyway, yeah, they are very heavy. They work quite well when they're working. This one shows, with the range boost, 3 swinging to about 30. I can't have it any more than that because there's a 5-watt and 25-watt switch on the front of the meter. Well, I don't want to peg the needle. Anyway, so this is doing 3 parallel doing about close to 30. And when it shuts off, it does 3 to about 8 or 9.
All right. Well, like I said, 3.2. Was it 3.2 watts minimum on the drive, on the output? So you're in good company. And that's a good question, Hans. He says, what was the most selling? Although it was a cord, was it a 6-volt model, a 12-volt model, then 115? So in 1962, I think most automobiles here in the U.S. were not running 6-volt systems anymore. I know that like the 55 Fords had a 6-volt battery in it, but the 6-volt system was kind of out at the end of the 50s, I think. So I would say the least would have been selling those 6-volt cords. Although, you know, you still, and I don't know how many of these went mobile or not. So probably the 12-volt and the 115-volt, and maybe not a lot of 6-volts, but if you had an automobile that did that. And you notice that a lot of the early radios from about 1963, 64 back had if they were going to have a mobile version, had a 6-volt version of that. But the cars by that time were probably 10 years old and on the side rusting. Not like the radios. The radios can be 60 years old and still work fine. Harvey, the General Radio Telephone MC5 number 2 is working quite well, and it is a good thing. It's been a long time since we've had some MC5s on frequency.
Well, a lot of the units, the VS series, etc., I think they used them on with farm equipment, on tractors and all, which may have stayed 6 volt for a while. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. But I have seen some old heads with the VS series mounted on tractors.
You know, I forgot about that. That was one of the selling points. This is for farm and business and things like that. CB radio was definitely not. It was not ham radio. It was not to be used for hobby-type communications, for idle chit-chat, for DXing, for experimenting. It was the citizen's radio to communicate your citizen business. One thing that we didn't touch on with Cliff, although he did mention it, was the dial. So this has 5-channel crystal controlled transmit, which by the FCC, by law, got to be crystal controlled. That was another thing. You know, ham radios operators could wander around with their VFOs, but here they wanted to keep it crystal controlled and channelized so there wouldn't be, you know, a free-for-all going on, and you knew where you were at. It was easier to do. Didn't have to tune things in. But your dial, your receive, could go all 23 channels. And so at $3 a pop for the crystals, by getting all those 23 channels on the receive, although you have to, you know, manually tune them in, you're saving, what, 60, 70 bucks right there, over.
Well, the dial is actually the far left side. There's a little spot below 1, goes all the way around to 22, and then there's a little spot after it, so you might barely get 23. Only if the dial was aligned really, really properly. Also, the transmit channels, you had 6 channels inside the radio, crystal controlled, and then you had an X, and that was for an external crystal transmit right in front. Receive channels were 4 crystal controlled receive channels, and then the VFO position. Now that's that MC5. Now the sideband MC5 had 1, 2, 3, 4 receive crystal controlled channels plus the variable. And when you went to variable, you were also going to sideband, possibly, with a slide switch that switched up for AM, down for SSB, DSB, okay? And then transmit channels, you had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 transmit, plus the X crystal position that you plugged in the front. I do have the sideband model. I'm sitting here looking at it. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work. So I got to do some really work on it, but I do have it.
All right, and I brought a picture up of that just to prove that, yes, indeed, it does work, and I can see the receive side where the switch is. You turned over to that. 1963, one of the first, General Radio Telephone was one of the first manufacturers to actually put out a couple of sideband radios because they were doing it. You know, the ham radio community was doing it, but it didn't catch on. It was tricky to tune in, and if you had more than 2 stations, nobody would be on the same frequency, so it really wasn't a good design, or wasn't fit for the design of the typical CB radio with crystal control transmit. But not to say you can't try it, and you know, it has its advantages when it works well. Radio number 2, yet again, the General Radio Telephone MC5. This is, it's working great. You've got it all lined up. And so, again, thanks for the emergency assistance on the other one so we could get to 2 tonight. Over.
No problemo. On the sideband MC5, you had to get an adapter box that went in between this transceiver and the antenna, and what it did was it suppressed the carrier, and that whole unit was a big old box, went in between, and that's how they did sideband with the MC5. I'm not sure. I think you could receive sideband with the radio itself. Excuse me, because it has a crystal and a Nuvistor tube circuit inside the radio, mounted sideways. And I think that was the sideband receive part, but to get the carrier suppressed for sideband, you had this external box you had to hook up.
Yeah, I found it. The SB3, General SBT, Sierra Bravo Tango number 3 sideband generator, the newest concept in two-way communications. Simply plug the SBT3 into General MC5 sidebander, or it says, or any CB transmitter. I wonder where you would plug it in. The SBT3 automatically generates a double sideband suppressed carrier signal for greater range. And that's what we're doing now. I mean, when you look at the Larry Cam, the scope, we're putting out, in fact, I can do that right now. Were I to actually find it, we are transmitting, there it is, we're transmitting double side, and there's the carrier is the red line in the middle. To the right is the upper sideband portion, and to the left is the lower sideband portion, and then the carrier helps meld them all together. You know, single sideband, it suppresses the carrier and takes out one of your sidebands. So it's easier to just suppress that red line, that carrier, and then you could have lower sideband and upper sideband. That's why when you tune off, right, when you have a VFO and you turn off to one side, it's like, wow, it's all distorted. It sounds like sideband. And when somebody's not on frequency, they sound like sideband. You know why? Because they are. You're listening to either their upper or lower sideband. And sometimes when you're listening to skip, you get that selective fading, where all of a sudden the station's coming in at 20 over, and all of a sudden their audio distorts. It's like, well, did they go sideband? Well, it's like, well, you get selective fading. You know, the lower sideband leaves and the carrier leaves, and then you're left with just the upper sideband part. So I wonder if that was adjustable. I wonder if we could do controlled carrier, where you just put a little bit of carrier in and more sideband. So anyway, there you go. We're all transmitting double sideband, but not suppressed carrier. So General just figured out, well, just take that carrier out of there, that nuisance carrier, and we'll be on sideband. Back to you.
Yeah. Well, I have a radio that I think I can do that with. I can turn down the carrier, turn up the audio, and it's almost like that. Not quite. Anyway, I think you can do that with the Siltronics and stuff like that. Okay, I gotta get out of here. I don't know if I'm gonna hook up another one. Let's see what time it is. Oh no, not gonna hook up another one. Well, I'll wait till next week. Okay, take care. We'll be out.
Yeah, it's the old carrier insertion level. All right, very good. Thanks for that. I've been notified that Espresso Trucking Company is in the building. The Buick is out in the parking area and leaking oil or whatever it is, but they will be here, so don't go away for that. A little bit of holiday festivities from them. Also, I wanted to check in. Let's go to the Jingle Singers. I'm going to see if we can't check in with Albert and the gang up in Squamish. So back in a second here.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, the friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
All right, the station for you. Are there any, speaking of stations, are there any other stations would like to check in a radio, Old Tube Radio Network listening?
135.
Hello, 135. I do believe you mentioned that you would be back, and here you are.
Now, is there somebody else in there?
135, go ahead, over.
Okay, I didn't want to stand in everybody's way. How's this thing working?
I hear you perfectly, over.
Okay, I just want to see if there's any trouble with it. Again, an in-specific radio from beautiful downtown Burbank, California. This is the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A in song and story. I did want to say one more thing actually about the MC5. You guys were talking about the VFO dial. That's a radium dial. You know, if you know, when you shine lights on it and stuff like that, it glows green in the dark, which is kind of cool. This one does not. It has a regular kind of rear illuminated dial. It's just crystal controlled transmit and receive, and there are 9 tubes. And what's the microphone here? The CM3. This is the General Charlie Mike -3 handheld plastic unamplified microphone. Back to you.
Yeah, back to me in the studio. All right, for some reason I'm having trouble bringing the pictures up because I have the picture, I think, of that actual radio that we use all the time, and for some reason it doesn't want to come up. So when it does, hold on a second. When it does, we will bring it up. All right, I'm having trouble keeping my transmitter key. When it does, we will bring it up. Back to you, over.
Okay. Yeah, I think everybody's probably seen it enough. I was hoping Chris would get out here with his. Maybe he's got the magic, because whenever I notice you check in his, you bring up my picture. So everybody's seen this thing before. I think a bit, it's a little bit more powerful radio, louder radio than the MC5, but no Tweety Bird. This one has the bullhorn on it. Like I say, it's all crystal controlled. There is a delta tune underneath the meter, but no real VFO tuning. Back to you.
Well, let's see. 1962 is the MC5. This is the early 70s, 71, 72. So 10 years later, they've improved a few things. They've certainly made the transmitter beefier. The bullhorn, where is the bullhorn? There's my Extreme Collective, because that's one of the switches, radio bullhorn. And they added an ANL, there's your delta tune, as we call it, below the S meter. Beefy, heavy radio. There were 7 tubes. Let me see if I got the tube complement. 9 tubes. So what did they add? What did they get rid of? Well, they've got the ECL 800 and the phase inverter output, AF amp 12AX7A. So I would have to do an A-B comparison, see what they added. what those extra 2 tubes are doing, but they're doing a lot. And of course, the audio is always very nice and very loud on any Super MC11A that's tuned properly. Over.
Yeah, Roger, no doubt about that. It is a louder radio than my MC5, and just looking in the slots in the top of it, I can tell one thing for sure. You'll have to ask Harvey what it is, because I can't remember. But there's one really great, big, huge glass tube, like right in the middle of the radio, and that is definitely not in the MC5.
6, something or other. It's the final. Okay?
Oh, that the great big one in the middle?
Yeah, the finale.
Oh, yeah, the ECLL 800?
No, 6 GE5, I think.
Yeah. Isn't the ECLL 800, isn't that the modulator?
Yeah, that's the output modulator. So, yeah, the final amp is Harvey's correct. It's the 6 Golf Echo 5. Over.
Yeah, Roger, and it's huge. It's like 3 times the size of any of the regular little tubes, that you normally find in just about any radio. So yeah, that's always been the mystery tube for me. I could just look it up, if I had thought about it. It is in Sam's. What is this one? Oh yeah, the MC5 is not in Sam's. But the Super MC11A is in 22, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
Indeed. All right, brought to Larry Cam. You have a nice, stable signal. It's a little, not much, but a little low on frequency, but it's super stable. And it has some nice audio on either side. Both the side bands are well and full modulated all the way out to the bandwidth. Over.
Oh, well, that's nice to hear. I can't wait to see all this stuff. I love it when Larry puts that waterfall display up there, because it's interesting. Oh, well, that's nice to hear. To get it, it's true audio visual, or should I say visual audio?
Yeah, it's that kind of techie stuff. It's like putting the car on the scope and seeing little blips on the meter, right? The oscilloscope. Radio, general radio telephone. I know what? I haven't even logged you in yet. Your radio number 3 on the general radio telephone Super MC11A. There you go.
Did you ever find the picture?
Oh, yes. I had found it. It just wouldn't come up. So we have been jogging from the picture to... The only thing I didn't put up, since you're going to be watching the replay, is take a transmission. I'll get the S meter and the Orban meter up. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, it'll be interesting to see the difference between the two. Hello. I do the old Harvey yell. Maybe I can get the get that signal meter of yours up there. Audio. That's about all I got. So back to you.
Back to me in the studio. All right, a good deal. Another general radio telephone from beautiful downtown Burbank. Was it 3501 Burbank Boulevard, by way of Fresno and the Central Valley here tonight. It is sounding good. It's got a good... that one's got a little bit more resting carrier than the other radio, but it modulates perfectly.
Well, good. Let's see, my NF tone is out, and I can never remember what that means. And I don't remember if I remember to mention it's 24 channel, where the other one's a 6 or 7 channel, depending on the crystal you have plugged into it. This has no place to plug in extra crystals, but theoretically you didn't need them, because it's got 20, all 23 channels plus an extra one. Which they brag about, I guess, on the right on the front of the radio. It says 24 channel, including the Channel 9 Help channel, which is always funny to look at when you spin around the dial. It says Help.
They didn't want you to forget it. Yeah, it does have the Civil Air Patrol, and I think it says CAP on there as well. All right, thanks for bringing by radio number 3. Sounding good. It has made its voyage from 1970s to the 21st century well.
Well, thanks for letting me check it in, and that's all from me for tonight. See you next time.
Okay, next time. Any other radios? I would actually, before I do that, let me give a alert out to Albert and the crew in Squamish. It looks like, I don't want to lose the link up here, but it looks like the link up into Squamish is working. Let me bring it up and see if I've got some audio on that as well. See if we get, as usual, they've got a nice quiet frequency going on. I never see heterodynes or birdies. It's just a nice quiet frequency. That receiver is always pretty good, but when they come through, when they beacon through, they're always quite loud. Here they go.
I'm running my realistic 124 with a little red light in it tonight. Show's been good. Nice to see all the people in the chat. Anyways, Dennis, I'll let you go. It's been a good show. Thank you very much for doing this.
I must be way behind because I'm not even there yet.
There you go.
Do you open the stream already?
Yeah, we're up. Your guys are sounding good. Big signals coming in tonight here from Squamish.
Hey, Dennis, if you open the stream, it's 428 in Squamish. I'd like to wave a hand to everybody out there, all the great operators in DX land, and thank you for doing this, sir. Checking my President Madison up here in Squamish on the base. Take care, Dennis. And you're not the basic Dennis, you're the wonderful Dennis. Take care, 73s. We'll be on the side.
All right, so thanks for the good words on that, and that's a great looking signal from that base tonight. Thanks for checking in, and you guys are the only thing going up there on CB Radio, so keep it up. Keep up the good work, the Old Tube Radio Network. Listening for anybody else before we jump out of here and hand it over to Espresso Trucking Company. All right, somebody came in, but it was right in my noise level. Who was that?
It was Joe.
Okay, I must have had something wrong because I could barely hear him. Normally he's louder than that. Hello, Joe, over. All right, I got you on the Hustler, Turner +3. Yeah, for some reason the signals are way down tonight, but I can hear you. It's not, for the replay, it's not going to be the best way to display that radio. I've got the picture up, so we'll live through the picture because we know what it sounds like when you've got all the antennas and coaxes fixed up. But another rare radio tonight, another one of the 7-tube wonders, over.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, that is a favorite radio for sure. WRL, World Radio Labs, Leo Meyerson, and the Globe Company, and their issue into the Class D radio service, keeping it simple with 7 tubes. but giving you an S meter and a full 23-channel tunable receive with 8-channel selectable and the spot switch and a way to put the crystal on the outside. Joe, appreciate the effort on giving us Radio 4 tonight. Over. All right, thanks for bringing it by. Yeah, Joe is not that far away, but he's on a different antenna than he normally is. Everybody knows Joe from his great radios, from the Hustler to the Johnson radios. It's just not. Were my antenna to be a bit higher, I'm sure we'd be hearing him better. But I wanted to get the Hustler on the list, and we did. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, the Jingle Singers. Oh, they're over in that studio. I was going to say, you guys have to move over because you know who. You know who is here tonight.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
And be modern. And let's see. I think we've got it set up. Were they to be live and direct, and they're selling, I guess they're on sale, so they have their Christmas CD out and ready to go, and this is the smash, and I use that word cautiously, their smash hit from the CD, Espresso Trucking Company, with a little holiday madness, I hope. The Old Tube Radio Network. We'll be back in a bit.
It's beginning to sound a lot like DX. Everywhere I go, take a look at the meter, Ben, rocking it once again at 30/9 now, don't you know? It's beginning to sound a lot like DX. Skip around the dial, but the prettiest sight to see will be a linear for me on my own front porch. A pair of match vinyl tubes and a noise for the toots is the wish of Barney and Ben. Mics that will ring and a rig that will ping is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for sunspots once again. It's beginning to sound a lot like DX. Everywhere I tune, there's a glow in my radio, on standby for the big show, with stacked PDLs pointed at the moon. It's beginning to sound a lot like DX. Soon the fun will start. Christmas greetings will fill your shack. I'll be beaming from my stack right within your heart.
All right, guys, I'm going to back off the microphone just a little bit. And I told you not to get into the eggnog before we did this, but you never listen to me.
A pair of matched vinyl tubes and a noise of the toots is the wish of Barney and Ben. Mics that will ring and a rig that will ping is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for sunspots once again. It's beginning to sound a lot like DX. Soon the fun will start. Christmas greetings will fill your shack. I'll be beaming from my stack right within your heart.
All right, well, if that doesn't put the holiday spirit somewhere into your body, then nothing will.
more.
This is the one more frequency. Go ahead. Over. Is that the I Think I Can radio?
Yeah, I gotta get the antenna connected.
Yeah, most radios work better if there is an antenna connected.
Yeah. Heck with this. Okay, it's kind of working.
Is that what happens when the Beagle hears great Christmas holiday tunes?
I don't know. I have to fix my cable. Oh, that's what she said. Okay.
All right, you have the floor, sir.
Okay. I have a cable to fix. I'll see you.
All right, that was the R68 T68 just for my records.
Yes, it was. I've been playing with the cable, so I got to fix this one. Okay, see ya.
All right, and we are making a record tonight. I think Espresso Trucking Company wants to. They want to go gold, but they're having to pull out their fillings to do it.
Yeah, you got that right. Okay, I got to get to some cable fixing. We'll see you. Bye.
Okay, yeah, go find the cable fixing frequency and go do it. All right, is this what we want to do? Yes, it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
The current and final totals. Let me see if I got my audio back. Yeah, the REA meter does not lie. Well, thanks for joining us. Maybe we'll have some better holiday decorations for the studio next week. I don't know, but it was fun. It worked out, and we did our best, and that's all you can ask. Let's see. Let me. All right, trying to find the foot switch. It's still working. Despite my best efforts to stomp it into the ground, it still wants to key the transmitter. We had 5 radios tonight. The most heard, of course, was from the downtown Burbank company, General Radio Telephone. We started off with the MC5. That one came in on the ambulance moments before the net tonight. And the bandages are holding quite well. Sounding good. Cliff, doing a good job on that, and thanks for the microphonium demonstration. I think they both sound fine, so maybe you will pick a favorite when you watch the replay. Harvey on his General Radio Telephone MC5, and a good demonstration between the two radios of the tone signal, the Q-Bird, or whatever. Anyway, the thing that really got the FCC upset, it's okay. You know, sometimes we can bug the FCC here and there, the right kind of way, you know, that doesn't cost us a forfeiture of $25,000. Well, we can do that. Radio number 3, Mr. Green Arrow on the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. By that time, General Radio Telephone said, whatever. We're going to make a 15-watt radio. We're going to put a plug in the back. We're going to put Civil Air Patrol in there. We're going to put this honking tube in there. So what? So we have our little bullhorn, but we've got other stuff that everybody likes. Radio number 4, Joe on the Hustler from World Radio Labs. Mr. Hustler on the Hustler. Thanks for that, Joe, and we're looking forward to not only yourself but myself getting our antennas up in the air to beacon our signals outward and upward. Radio 5 you just heard, and then you didn't hear, and then you did hear, and then you didn't hear the Browning Golden Eagle Browning Lavatories R68 T68. We will be here next week, sitting in the air chair. Many of you may be out on the road traveling or whatever, but remember, you can, if you're not by the two-way radio, you can always tune us in. at, boy, it's dark in here, at Old Tube, but it's festive, at oldtuberadio.net, and listen to the program as it happens, or watch the replay as it's not happening. 73, everybody. Continue on with your doing, and take it easy, keep it safe, and we will be back here next week.
Hey, Dennis.
This is the Basic Dennis, over.
Little bit of helpful hints here. They make quick disconnect PL259, which is what I use to switch radio. And some of them that go right on the cable, you solder the center pin. Others are a separate type of quick disconnect plug where you screw your piece of coax into the back of that quick disconnect so you can remove it if you want. Well, on those quick disconnects that you screw the cable onto the back of it, the center pin apparently on some of these screws in to the plug. And mine was loose. All I had to do was go in there and tighten it, and I didn't know it was like that. So, for those who buy those things, where you screw your cable on to the back of the quick disconnect, check that center pin.
All right, good to know. I've never heard of that. I'm used to the B&C style connectors, and I wish I normally have one right here, but it's the B&C where you push and turn and it locks in. In fact, I've got a radio piece that I'm working on that has B&C connectors on it, and I'm going to have to get a B&C adapter to SO239. But I know people that would put, unless we're talking about the same thing, which I don't think we are, they would put the SO or the PL259 and would have a female, or would have a male B&C connector on the other side, and then you would make your connectors with the B&C cable on the end, and you just push it in and turn and go in. That's the 75 ohm cable that we use all the time in the video biz, and it's really great. It's push and turn, and there's no, I mean, it has a center pin that can come out, but there's no twisting or anything of stuff. So I am not familiar with of what you speak.
I've got a couple of them. I'll bring one by and show you. But I was surprised. I thought that pin in the center pin, was just a solid connection in there. But no, it screws in. And when I checked that connector, I kind of wiggled it, and the center pin wobbled. I went, what? So then I got my little needle nose and thought, well, maybe it screws in. So I did that, and sure enough, screwed right in, tightened right down, works fine. Now, learn something new every day. Well, in my case, many things. Okay, catch you next week.
All right, catch you all next week. Yeah, I'll be curious to see that, if that's something. I know people have patch bays, and making a little SO239, PL259 patch bay that might be kind of neat instead of using an antenna switch. I think W1AW has that. You can see some pictures of their really nice stuff at W1AW. They have patch bays rather than switch connectors or something, so they might use something like that. All right. Somebody mentioning on the chat that did Harvey have a screw loose? Well, perhaps, but at least you solved that mystery. 73, everybody. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and I hope we do have some DX coming up. The Old Tube Radio Network.
And yes, I do. Catch you later, Joe. Just let me know. Well, on this quick disconnect, they screw in. And mine wasn't tightened, it was loosened, because I switch it around a lot, and couldn't believe it. But Anyway, I've got a few more of those, so I'm going to check them. All right, catch y'all later. I actually have to go to work. Okay, see ya. I betcha. Thank you, Dennis.
And I'm now shutting down the stream.
All right, thanks, Larry. That worked out great. I just have to remember to actually use it.
Roger Dodger.
The Larry Cam does not lie.